Before I drop the next lecture on you about how to do custom white balance and what white's all about and the pitfalls, it's going to be rather long. At the end, you'll be like, oh, I get it, and it'll be really simple. I just wanted to show you a demo so I don't have to re-explain it every time in the next lecture. And I'm calling this the one quick white balance. You got this card thing, and it has all these colors, and you've played with those. Well, part of the deal on this card is it also contains this. And that is used for custom white balance. It's also used to figure out white. For instance, if I set this here, just kind of look at the camera and I bring the footage in, I can do the following. Okay, so we have this footage here. I've held up this card. That's just where I'm at on the timeline. Let's simulate having a bad white balance and some bad settings in the camera. You may have put it on tungsten and it should have been on something else. You'll learn in the next lecture how easy it is to do a custom white balance and really nail this, and also how to do it wrongly. So let's just simulate this. Let's say we're sitting here with really blue and this thing's shoved over here, the tint, both on the right, and it's just kind of really like, oh man, it's just getting ugly, ain't it? Well, let's do that. There we go. Let's say we got our footage in and we were like, what happened? Well, since I held up what I know is true white with this color card before I shot this, in both DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro and many other editors, if you look at this white balance selector right here, this little eyedropper, you can do what's called a one-click color correction. I click on the eyedropper, I click in the middle of that card, pow. Now notice minus 1.4 and 0.9 on these. I assure you, there's 0, there's 0. The difference between that and that, your eyeballs are not going to see. So it's okay if it comes in here. Obviously, if you click and it's way off, something happened, you clicked in the wrong place. Okay, let's take a look at what's happening. Let's undo this. Now, there's our original shot. We can see the reds are peaked out. I don't even know what's happening with the blues. Stuff's all over. And you'll notice this stuff is hitting over red and way over on blue. And when we redo this, our one click, it looks a little bit normal. Put a little mask over here. Binky, 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 boo on this white. Now you can really see how pinkish this thing is. It's freaking pink, right? Let's see what's happening in the scopes. This is really going to make sense. Now looking at the scopes, you can see the red is way up here. It can't go any further than 100, so it's really drawn up. The blues somewhere in here, the greens here, and look at this. Remember that white can be off. Look at how far off that is. White is really far off. Now if we go in and we correct this, pop, look what happened over here. Remember our white point? Our white point is now in the center, and look at these colors. They're all balanced. Remember, white represents all colors. So these are balanced and these are a balance. Let's undo that. Things are way out of scope. This white point is way the heck out of there. Let's redo that. Now it looks like it should. And again, don't worry if these numbers are 1, 2, -2, or whatever. When you do it, sometimes you'll nail 0 and 0, sometimes you won't. It doesn't matter. It's just don't drive yourself crazy. If you get somewhere close, then that works. Let's go over here and pull this mask off. There we are back. Let's go back to the scopes. Here we are in the scopes. That's how it's normally going to look, obviously. I have a lot of blue, stuff's going on. And I would expect to see that, but look, I can see my white points in the middle. Let's hammer this thing a different way. Let's pull it way over here towards the blue and maybe go way into the green. That's awful. Look at this. This thing's sitting way over here. Things are topped up there. So we came in with our camera footage and went, oh man, what the heck's going on? I can't believe I didn't set my white balance. If you held up this card or something you know is white, click, click, bam. Everything's corrected. Everything looks good. And then you can play with it. Okay, well, let's crush our blacks like we showed a little bit. We can play with this if we want to. Maybe we want to bring that down, bring that up. Maybe we want to play with that. However you want it to look, that's fine. I would render that and I'd be done. That's what I mean by one click white balance. And I'm going to show you all the ways to properly do it, not properly do it. And I think you'll be surprised at what you can tell your camera that it thinks is white is not white. Because remember, there's two methods here. The one method is we want to be able to correct our camera and get it as close as possible so we don't have to worry about all this stuff. The other method is, oops, my white balance was off or I forgot to do something, and we have the tool to correct it if that happens. Let's go to the next lecture and learn about all this custom white balance stuff. I think you're going to find how simple that is.